Shalom, shalom, Akim. It's Brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, and Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders and learning the truth from GMS. Blessing to the Akim on there preaching his word, wholehearted true sincerity. Blessing to the 144,000, 1/3 entirely. The first fruits, kingdom of heaven, house of David, that be Yaf Dawadah. And shalom to brothers out there speaking in different tongues and looking at different nations. Shalom to you, brothers. So today, brothers, man, I actually wanted to land back off the spirit of this particular week. It seems like the topic of discussion is, from multiple brothers that I've seen videos on, and, just the algorithm of financial currency is the Brics currency is pretty much set to launch sometime later in the year in November, which in return will be in what you call a blockchain type technology or a platform, which is basically built on a digital currency situation backed by gold, which is being not even considered, which will be used by multiple countries around the world to pretty much separate themselves from the petrodollar or the American dollar, same thing, when it comes to international trade. So what that would do is, in return, increase inflation and also what you call de-dollarization, or dethroning the world reserve currency, which is the king of currency as of right now, which will be the American dollar. And so what's going on is, once the countries of the world are no longer using the American dollar for international trade, such as goods and predominantly oil, that will pretty much bring down the value of the dollar down to practically nothing, or at some point nothing. And that's going to really bring down the American economy, which was once king and now no longer anything, which the replacement will be the Brics dollars, with a coalition of different countries, starting off with, you got I think it's Britain is one of them, I believe. Is it Britain? Is it Brics is Britain, Russia, Iran, I believe, South Africa, and China, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the starters of the countries that's pretty much, the forefront of this particular new currency. Not to mention, it's also backed by gold. But the key is, it's going to dethrone and potentially bring down the American dollar as the king currency of the world. I got this video I wanted to put up. I would say I would get about the 2-minute mark. You brothers can take a look at this and hear what they got to say. It's one of many videos, but I found this one to be, pretty much, informational to further, bring home what I'm trying to say, that it's trying to say. So let me go ahead and just start this. I'm headed to get some training in. Let me start from right here. Okay.
Today we're talking about some eyebrow-raising headlines that further the case for de-dollarization. Driving the news is a major announcement from Brics that they are officially launching a new common currency. We'll give you the latest details and a summary analysis of the potential impact of gold and the US dollar. Stay tuned. Before we begin, please take a moment to support the channel by liking and subscribing. Thank you. For those of you who haven't been following along, and maybe this is new to you, we'll give a very brief summary of what's been going on. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency. The benefits to this are that we can raise as much capital as we need, or wield sanctions against other countries as a political tool and as an alternative to war. Supporting this is the petrodollar agreement, which essentially made it mandatory to buy oil with US dollars, and in exchange the US would support Saudi Arabia. The world is not full of governments that are...
Okay, I don't want to, I know brothers probably heard that, but basically that's the kicker. That's the major thing. I believe it was in the 1940s when America has had an agreement for the world to pretty much sell oil in their dollar called the petrodollar, and also one of the major suppliers is Saudi Arabia, which in return the military of America will support them in battles and future conflicts at that time, which also signifies how powerful America was, and considered a mighty army, which can be a really good asset and an ally to future conflicts, which made it a very much no-brainer agreement to go ahead and make them the world reserve currency and trade in oil, which made them rich and powerful.
The real U.S. has this economic weapon, Russia being a chief example. Short history, Russia invades Ukraine, the U.S. puts them with sanctions and freezes their reserve dollars. The entire world sits up and takes notice. That event will be viewed by history as the beginning of the de-dollarization trends of accelerated advancement. The idea amongst adversarial governments is simple. They have to have a large amount of their country's wealth in U.S. dollars in order to buy oil, but the U.S. can freeze their assets. Well, what then? It puts governments around the world in a difficult position they will try to mitigate against. Deserved or not, right or wrong, this is a simple case of cause and effect. Now, the Brics coalition is an economic alliance between several member countries. The original members are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Although membership has recently expanded to...
Okay, Salakia, that rings a bell. It's Brazil, Russia, Saudi Arabia, China. Okay, so now I remember that. It was Brazil, but I'm gonna keep on. I wanted to make that corrected.
Several oil-producing countries as well. A key goal of the alliance is de-dollarization, or in other words, reducing the world's usage and reliance on the U.S. dollar for settling trade. Now, this would cripple the U.S. economy, which has been built on unsustainable spending, and it would severely reduce the U.S.'s ability to interject in foreign policy with the threat of sanctions. Now, this is a big goal and one that cannot be achieved overnight. And a key criticism of the de-dollarization effort is that there is no alternative to the U.S. dollar, so how could it be replaced? Well, we've discussed this in other videos, but there has been speculation for a couple of years that the Brics coalition would create their own common currency, and spearheaded by Russia's Putin, it appears this currency is officially nearing completion in its development. A big theory has been that the currency will be backed by a basket of commodities, including gold. The Brics nations are among the most ravenous gold buyers in the world, with China at the helm. However, with the official announcement of the currency's development in March of 2024, we have a little bit more information and a bit of a twist. The new currency will likely be blockchain-based and a digital currency. No news yet on whether it will be gold-backed. It also appears to be a common currency with goals larger than one limited to transactions between governments. Here's an official statement from the Kremlin. We believe that creating an independent Brics payment system is an important goal for the future, which would be based on state-of-the-art tools such as digital technologies and blockchain. The main thing is to make sure it is convenient for governments, common people, and businesses, as well as cost-effective and free of politics. An independent payment system usable by common people is a bit broader than a tool being used to settle international transactions with an agnostic commodities-based currency. Remember that the Brics coalition is formidable. Let's compare it to the G7 countries, which have been center stage of international politics for decades. The G7 countries account for about $46 trillion in GDP against the BRIC nations' $30.8 trillion. However, the population of G7 countries is about 750 to 800 million souls, whereas the BRICS nations represent over 3.3 billion people. If this common currency that's officially in development is adopted over time by over 3.3 billion people, that is going to have an undeniable impact. So the question on everyone's mind is, when is this currency launching? The short answer is we don't know. It's meaningful that we have an official announcement verifying they're working on this currency, as just a short while ago we heard from analysts that it was unlikely and Brics representatives refused to make any statements. Now,
All right, so speaking on this one, Akim, I saw a video today where they're actually going to, they're considering, or I would say most likely, it sounds like a for sure bet, that they're going to launch this coming November 2024. And from that video that I saw, that was going to be, because they're launching later in the year. When they do, there was another video going into the de-dollarization and the fall of the U.S. economy as a whole, due to the fact that its role is going to allow other countries and other entities to trade internationally oil and other products and other goods rather than outside of the U.S. dollar. So that's pretty much what that's going on. And this is prophecy, brothers. This is something that we're waiting on, and we praying for the downfall of Babylon. I would love to see the situation, because when this happens, that's going to be like 24 Great Depression. All that's going to do is further more prophecy as a cause and effect, action to a reaction, with 2nd Esdras 15 and also 16. Sedition among men. They shall not regard their kings and princes. You know what I mean? Their swords shall be in their hand and stand in their own power. You know what I mean? It's not going to be no 911. All because there's going to be a lack of bread for great tribulation. And ultimately, we know that following this great downfall, which is going to be around the whole world, is obviously going to be, it's going to be the prophecy which makes sense of the Charagma, that RFID chip, mark of the beast, and Revelations 13, starting at 16. We're waiting on this, because we know that the faster that happens, that is the time frame when Yahweh Shah will come back and deliver his elect. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Seminole Indians, the house of David, man, the B'yaf would die. Because when an RFID chip is mandatory, that's the time to be looking up to the sky, where your redemption draweth nigh. That's going to be the time frame. It's going to be some terrible situations, because it's going to obviously be simultaneously along with Jacob's trouble. That's clear. That makes a lot of sense. So, Lord willing, this goes down the way it is, man. I noticed multiple brothers have been putting up videos on this Brics dollar, which ultimately is the de-dollarization of America, which we know that a lot of empires have failed because of being divided. It's something to do with their currency. Very well known. So, it makes sense, because like it says in Sirach 10 and I believe it's 2 and 10. I'm driving right now. I could start at James 5. It says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped up treasure together for the last days." Right? And that's real. Like it says in Sirach. It says in Sirach, it says, because riches was gotten by violence and deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's why it goes into 2nd Esdras 6 and 9 that the end of the world is Esau, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. This empire has been created through violence and bloodshed. So it can only be, reconciled by the blood of the ones who shed it. That's presuming with Deuteronomy. Or Numbers, I mean. More or less like 35, 33. Somewhere like around there, 34, 33, somewhere around there. Roughly paraphrasing. And so this is how we know we at the end, brothers. Like seeing the downfall of our enemies. Sirach 25 goes into that. Right? This is a beautiful thing to see, man. Not only do we know that Babylon is fallen, But now we're seeing that they're once the king of the world, and now we're talking about literally the destruction and the downfall of them, especially their currency. You know, the money, the American dollar was making Babylon the top of the food chain. And now the Lord got, you know, the other kings, you know, devising a plan to detach from America, which would bring them down, because America had an opportunity and a foot on everybody's neck, and now everybody is strong now to be able to detach and to be able to separate, to do their own thing, which can pursue to Jeremiah, where it says that I believe it's 50 or 51, where it goes into, they shall all come in a battle array, and they're going to shoot all their arrows at Babylon all at once and spare no arrows. So everything they got and everything they got to offer as far as weaponry, pursuant to those ICBM missiles, they're going to shoot at Babylon, so-called America, all at one time, and what we call utterly destroy it, which obviously makes sense. I mean, one nuke can do some crazy damage, but everybody who owns one and has one all at one time, it's overkill. It's overkill, man. Straight overkill. So hey, man, you know, it's a beautiful time and a beautiful situation to be in. I had to land back with my thoughts. You know, I call this, you know, spiritual thoughts on the bring down of Babylon. I'm gonna say through Brics. You know, through currency or such or so. It needs to happen. Babylon must fall. Revelations 18 start at the top. Babylon is falling, Babylon is falling. We need that, man. So, you know, I wanted to come at you brothers, man, with a quick little, you know, jab before I come into this facility. The Spirit was on me to, you know, land back off the brothers going into the, you know, the prophecy of the downfall of Babylon, man. Because, you know, the spirit of prophecy in Revelations 19 and 10, the spirit of the Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy. So that's what we're going to do is go into the spirit of prophecy, because we want to be, you know, in the spirit of Yahweh Shah, man. You know? It's a beautiful situation. So quick jab, brothers. Lord willing, Apparatus out is edifying to you, brothers. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. Yahweh, he is to be, exists by Shem the name, and the only begotten Son and Lord and Savior. Yahweh Shah by Shem the name, and the Holy Spirit of Rakak Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the truth of GMS. Blessings to the occupant of preaching his word. Horror to sincerity. That's to the 144,000 1/3 entirely. The first fruits kingdom of heaven is the house of David, the B'yaf Dabadah. And Shalom, brothers that are speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers.